Hi there, it's Kelly from Play Therapy Connection. And I wanted to just spend a couple of minutes sharing a few tips about teaching kids about fairness. I often find this is a pet peeve of many parents that I work with when they hear the inevitable phrase, "it's not fair," right? So if you're in that boat, maybe a few of these tips will help. So, the first thing is to understand the mind of a child. And many of our young kids that we work with are still in a very egocentric state of mind, which is typical for young children, right? They see the world as revolving around them, it's all about them. And so really understanding fairness can be something that is a bit maybe cognitively out of reach for them. And so the younger the child, the more the "it's not fair" comment is really out of a feeling of frustration or disappointment. And they're just not liking something that just took place, right? So I think that that's one piece to remember. And regardless of age, I think when the root of the "it's not fair" comment comes out of disappointment or frustration, it's great to just really empathize with their feelings, right? I see that you're sad that it didn't go how you wanted to. I know it's frustrating that you didn't feel like you got what you wanted. So just being able to help them connect with the feeling that's maybe underneath the comment rather than maybe trying to lecture them on what fair really is. The second part is that from a developmental perspective, many children, I would say under the age of 10 or 11, are really still developing their cognitive reasoning skills. So they may actually perceive something as being unfair when it's actually not, right? So some great ways to practice this with your kiddos, just to help them start to have a more concrete understanding of fair, is you could pour the same amount of liquid into two different size cups, right? And then ask the children which one is more full, right? And then help them see that it's actually the same exact amount in each cup. To help them demonstrate that what we see isn't always what we perceive, right? It helps them make things a little bit more concrete. Another great example of this is you could take $1 bill and 4 quarters, or trying to do math in my head here, but you could do 10 dimes, right? And again, right, it's just about the number of coins versus a dollar or quarters, right, is going to be different. And younger children are often going to perceive, well, the more you have is, right, not fair. But really, in the end, it's the same amount of money, right? So again, just finding little ways like that to help teach them that what we see isn't always what we perceive in terms of things being fair. Now, the other part that you could practice is really because fairness isn't equal, right? Fairness is about everybody getting what they need. So, for example, let's say you put something just out of reach for the child in your home that is smallest, but just to be able to reach for the child in your home that's the tallest, right? It's like, well, the tallest child could reach it without any help, and the shorter child couldn't. Is it fair? No. But how could we help the child who's shorter? Well, they could get a chair to stand on, and then they would have an equal chance of reaching the marker just out of reach. So that can kind of help see that in order to get what we want, sometimes it's not always exactly fair. The child in the classroom who has to wear glasses, right, and another child doesn't, well, is it fair? Well, no, but they're both getting what they need, right? One child doesn't need glasses to be able to see, and the other one does. Um, so just kind of helping, having some ideas or ways to talk about or think about this idea of fairness. The other part that I'll just add to that is that life really isn't fair, right? It's not always equal. And so can we help really build the idea that we're working to get what we need, and sometimes we don't even get what we need? And can we empathize with the parts that do feel sad or disappointed, or that things just didn't go our way, and that that's a part of life that we need to deal with and understand? And how can we have compassion and grace and connection with one another when that's the circumstance that really happens? Lastly, the game Candyland, I think, is a really wonderful game that can highlight many conversations about things being fair or not fair, right? In the game of Candyland, you can get a candy card and move way far ahead, or it can send you way backwards, right? And so it's a great opportunity to highlight that you're following the rules of the game, and sometimes things happen in life that help you, and sometimes things can knock you back. But if we're following the rules of Candyland, we're all playing fairly, even if the cards don't get us to the same place. So I hope these few tips on fairness can be helpful. Please reach out to us with questions, comments, worries about your child and family. We're here to help.